Hello everyone, and welcome back to the OCS. Week number 6, game number 2, EGM Vandy. That was a very slow game number 1.
It was a slow burner, but I really like that it just went 0 to 100 in the last 2 minutes. That
You
was like
reckon-
all of the action.
Yeah, Emprox versus Gravitas is going to be this one. Do you reckon it's going to be different based on these two teams,
so.
what we've seen?
Yeah, I hope so. As I said last week, neither team had a good week. It was really rough for them. Gravitas, as you said, did not have their jungler.
Yeah.
But I feel like this week they're going to be hungry for that win.
Yeah, certainly. I feel like they look like a completely different team without Why Not on the bench. Guapi kind of fell down, and then Rival. The Riven main came in from the top side and tried to do his best, but unfortunately, I think it was versus Chiefs, weren't able to pick up that victory.
Yeah.
In a pretty rough one. So, yeah, maybe getting back to their traditional roster. I will say they have been docked 3 bans for submitting their roster late, so I'm going to have the first 3.
It's not the best start, but look.
Yeah, look.
As long as you got your team, it's fine.
Yeah. I will say the one thing is it is the main roster, so it's not an emergency sub.
Yeah.
It's
So
the main roster.
Yeah,
but
that counts for a lot. You think that this is a small thing? No.
yeah, interesting.
Counts for a lot.
But yeah, I believe they are on the red side, so kind of a little bit unlucky there, but they do have access to more of the picks. On the other side of the coin, though, it is Emprox, and I feel like, yeah, you mentioned a little bit of a rough game last week, not able to pick up the victory there versus the Bombers, but I feel like in recent weeks versus the Bombers, a lot of teams have been having a rough time.
They've been struggling.
Yeah, looking to be able to bounce back in this regards. I do like a couple of their players, right? And this is an interesting team that does work cohesively very well together. They've played the Darius comps, the Pike comps of note, but I do like Lived in the mid lane. I feel like he is just a very solid all-around performer. I see him in solo queue, see him in competitive, just looks like a very well-rounded mid laner.
That's what you want. Like, with mid, I mean, I love that role, but it just pays to have such a good foundation right there.
Yeah.
It's same as like people being like, oh, it's all about the jungle, the mid, and everything. I feel like a good mid is horrifying, especially if you're ADC or anything like that.
I think, I'm torn between whether mid or jungle
I feel like they
are
both,
the most important roles.
I feel like they're both equally very influential.
I feel like that is a wussy answer.
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like hedging is...
Okay, for me personally, I think mid can carry harder than jungle.
That wasn't the question, though.
Okay,
what was more important? What's the most important lane? No, did I say that? I'm blanking on what I said.
Well, if that's the question.
I feel like... No, that is the question. Most
Okay.
important. Mid, out and out most difficult, I would say. Most important?
Jungle. See, now you're making me be like, I don't know.
But I feel like a very strong mid can hide jungle gap. But also...
But
Nah,
then
maybe
also
it's jungle.
Because jungle can help everyone.
Oh, so can mid, though. Mid just wanders down the river. If your mid laner's winning, you know how easy it is to... Oh, I have dreams of playing like Karma Caitlyn, and you just can't get ganked because your mid laner has prio and the jungler just can't come down there.
Like,
that is any bot laner's like best dream they've ever had. Just having a winning mid lane,
So
and you can't get touched.
What was our final answer? Both equally
Well,
important? Or you said mid?
No, I said equally important is a crappy answer.
Yeah, but which one did you go for?
I think mid.
Okay. I think mid... No, actually, I changed my answer to
You think,
jungle.
you think it's jungle?
I
Okay.
think jungle.
Okay, controversial.
You made
opinion.
me change my opinion.
Maybe somewhat.
Yeah. It's interesting though, but we're into the pick spans.
Yeah. So, Gravitas not going to be able to ban anything. Interested to see what this does change here for Emprox, though. Ryze going to be the first one. Is it going to be like Ryze, Silas, Aatrox, ban away a bunch of the OPs? They do have choice of OP, given that they do have first pick and Gravitas has no ability to react.
Gonna have to wait and see. For Gravitas,
is.
they just have to wait out their 3 ban
Yeah.
losses. But it just gives them more time to decide what they are going to pick. So already, yeah, the Ryze, the Silas. And I mean, these are to be expected. I feel like the bamboozling that they can give you as well, whether they're going to be mid, top, it's just so strong.
Yeah, potentially, but interesting to look at like a team like a Gravitas, and now Emprox is in this situation, right? Hot Chelly, huge Orianna player. Why not? Huge Hecarim player. Guapi has like weird picks like the Olaf, all of that sort of stuff. If you look at Ryze and Silas, 2 very big red side bans. Gravitas not able to ban them here, so Emprox is like, okay, like we now have the burden, let's remove all the OPs. So for Emprox, you now kind of lose the ability to target ban on blue side, which is the general trajectory, and maybe this kind of serves in Gravitas' favor somehow in a weird world. Emprox does kind of dictate what will happen here, but I feel like this is a team that, when has looked very on, and does play around their jungler and why not a great deal, so certainly have a lot of options open tracking into the rest of this draft.
Finally ending up with that Irelia ban, so strong. Again, another flex pick that we do see, but interesting because on the side of Gravitas, no one's really brought her out just yet. Not saying that they wouldn't, but no one has played her yet.
Not a big Irelia team per se, but that is a very interesting first pick. Sivir?
Straight into the Sivir.
Yeah, so we have Aatrox open, which has been 100% pick ban in every tournament ever that has been played in this patch on this season. And I actually like that so much. Aatrox just mega busted. That champion is super good. And now Sivir first pick to me screams Yuumi, and then they just take Yuumi away immediately. So Gravitas, I like this so far. Very quick read, very quick lock-in, and obviously have a plan.
Good, but responding with the Sejuani, so strong as we saw from that last game. Very scanned in terms of that jungler. If not the Sejuani, maybe something like a Jarvan we see a lot of. You know, with that Yuumi, does that mean that they're going to pick the Ezreal up now?
I expect so, especially now that it's given a Nautilus. That could be very tough lane for Yuumi to navigate. Kind of want an AD carry that can sit in the wave somewhat, but then you kind of disincentivize given you are laning against a Sivir, so I expect this will be the AD carry lock-in. Probably hold jungle for someone like Wynod and just kind of lock in something safe like the Ezreal. That'd be the expected play, I think. They could drop AD if they choose to, and that is going to be the case. Okay,
so leaving it open, locking in the Gragas instead, prioritizing him so much more. And that's something weird to be saying, prioritizing a Gragas.
Yeah, this is a guy that we haven't seen much competitive play in recent times. Obviously into the Sejuani, not the toughest of matchups, but yeah, that's a fairly interesting choice, I have to say.
Surely this is comfort.
Plays out. Oh, well, I mean, I don't necessarily think comfort, but like it's like personal taste. You know what I mean? Like he's obviously comfortable on the champion, but it's definitely not the norm by any means.
Maybe they've got some secret wombo coming up their sleeve. I mean, you've got the Aatrox, you've got the Yuumi, and then you've got, hey, Gragas over here.
Yeah, Gragas to throw a cast in and ruin everything.
You literally took it like some sort of like amazing
like Moses
play.
in the sea, just splits the tide. Let it
I was just thinking, I'm like, maybe they've been practicing something weird, something wacky.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, target bans from Gravitas here now in phase number 2.
That makes sense,
Darius.
taking away the Darius.
Yes.
And the Pyke, you already just harped on about them, but Berserker on that Darius especially, he's scary.
He seems like the one with flair on this lineup, right? Like, Artek plays a lot of Thresh, Liv can like play all the standard sort of stuff, Paladin seems to be much more of like the Sejuani, the Jarvan, that sort of guy, and it is like Berserker where they build like priority weird stuff from. They're happy to play like Darius into Mundo, they play the Pyke, stuff like that, so...
Ooh, Akali been left up and back to basic. I love Akali.
Yeah, super good right now, super strong. I feel like nerfs are in the works, but we are on patch 9.10.
They've nerfed her so much, leave her alone. Nah, she's still very strong.
She's still, yeah.
She's still hella strong.
She's still mega good. Kind of adds that flexibility. I expect it's going to be mid lane Akali. Matchups aren't yet decided here, so Liv kind of has a pick of the litter in terms of what he wants to take into that one. Aurelia, Sylas, and Ryze are already gone. That would be a choice. Okay.
So it's either going to be support Nautilus or support Galio.
And either one of them could go into the mid lane, into the Akali. I expect... I was going to say...
Galio will match Akali.
Yeah, I was going to say, would Galio have a better time? But potentially Nautilus.
In my experience, I think Galio wins it a little bit better, but it's also very hard for Nautilus. It just depends on how the Nautilus plays the lane.
Because I feel like the Nautilus can interact with Akali more when she's in Shroud.
Yep.
Like, you could just hit Riptide, you hit your E, and you can, like, wait. Like, both of them want to just be wave clearing and leaving. They don't want to look to 1v1 the Akali. Galio, of course, has the magic shield, so maybe swings it a tiny little bit in his favor. Can roam much easier out of mid with the ulti as well.
Yeah, and it's hard for Akali to get the full combo off because he can also interrupt with the taunt, also drag her out of Shroud. Just be a pain in the butt, but both very safe. But I like that. It gives them more options, right?
Yeah, be interested to see which one they go towards. I believe it's 20 seconds when that is locked in, so... Renekton, something we didn't touch on. Fairly stable matchup into the Aatrox. Probably the best you're going to get, given that kind of wins a lot of them right now in the top side. So... Berserker gets his hands on something comfortable, and your favorite lane, Kai'Sa with the Yuumi turning down at the bottom side.
I do like it, yeah. I mean, okay, you don't seem very sold on it, but I'm telling you, it's good.
I feel like you can never kind of go wrong with Kai'Sa.
Yeah, she's
just the new, like, basic AD. I scale well, I can lane well, I have, like, access to a couple of different builds.
Yeah.
I can take heal, I can take TP.
And you can also then build AP if you feel like getting it out. Like, she just got so much flexibility, and she just feels safer than Vayne, whereas it used to be Vayne for your hyper carry. So her and Ezreal, just super safe. I really like her. She's one of my favorite ADs that I play all the time.
Makes a lot of sense. Very versatile. It is going to be the Galio trading blows with the Akali in the mid lane, so Liv makes his selection. Kind of the one we here expected. It is going to be TP versus heal in the bottom lane. TP in the hands of the Sivir, as you would expect, so... A little bit of a summoner mismatch heading into the Rift, but This is Mprox versus Gravitas Academy. Both of them coming off a loss. Definitely wanting to be picking up a win here today.
So you're also saying that Yuumi would probably have a little bit of a harder time versus the Nautilus Sivir as well. So maybe that also did factor why he went to that bot lane, whereas Galio Sivir perhaps not as good. I mean, still good, but I feel like Nautilus can really shut down what they're trying to bring.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like Nautilus would do so much more into a Yuumi lane than a Galio. Kind of, especially when you're pairing it with a Sejuani. Galio Sejuani isn't the best gank 1-2 combo. And Nautilus will do a little bit more damage in the bottom side and have a little bit more freedom to get on top of the Yuumi lane than he otherwise would.
We are 2 for 2 for Principal Yuumi skins.
Well,
not bad.
Yeah, when you've only got one skin, it's not a lot of choices.
Yeah, but people will just be, I like the default. I'm that guy.
Oh, I hate that guy. Nobody likes that guy.
Nobody likes
default skin. Default skin means pleb. When you off roll and you have to pick some champion you don't own a skin for, it just feels awful.
Literally, when I was playing Kai'Sa, people were like, we won't play with you until you have a skin, because default Kai'Sa is just hideous.
Yeah. It's got so many options.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually very privileged in, what was it? Riot 2014 or 15? Like, they used to unlock. Now
I was going to say, did you get the unlocked account?
Yeah, now they give pro players accounts, right? Like, they give you an account for the season. It's like, yeah, you can have 1 million RP, whatever. And then at the end of the season, you're kind of renting an account. It has access to a bunch of stuff, and you get bajillions of RP. But back then, they used to be like, hey, what are your account details? We'll hook you up. So I have, at that point in time, whatever that point in time is, like, everything that was purchasable in the store, I've got. So I don't have anything of the
When did they grant
new
it to
cool
you? Do you remember which champ was getting released?
I don't know, like 2014, 2015, that era.
Dang. Reminds me of those games that do like VIP founders passes and you get everything unlocked forever. So good.
But this means like going from our conversation, anytime I like off roll and play some butthole champ, I always have like a very old skin.
A little bit of a trade. Retribution getting chonked.
Yeah, it's a very rough start. That was, okay. That's a technical term. Artek, playing his hook champ, sits in a bush and gets a very nice trade for level 1. MLG, I believe I've been told his name is Emelg, but when your name is literally phonetically MLG, I refuse to call him Emelg.
Yeah, I also like MLG because it's more gamer. You know,
it's
MLG.
It's more gamer.
It is more gamer, you know.
I don't think I've ever been positively described anything in my life that is like, yeah, it's more gamer.
No, but you know, like, everybody knows about MLG. It's like a kind of a meme, whereas you don't want to be Emelg. It's like, who's that? Did you just accidentally say, I'm Emelg? Thank you.
Oh, it's
you
like
say
kind
it
of
with an
French?
Accent, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I shop at Target, not Target.
Target, oh, God.
See, you can't be that guy.
No, I like MLG. I'm sticking with MLG. If his name's Emelg,
he can come and write us a letter and we'll apologize.
He can DM me on Twitter and I'll hear him out. I don't promise anything, but I'll consider it.
Fancy footwork going out there from Mboma. Already Retribution healed completely up. I know I got very excited, totally cut you off, but I'm just like, you don't get to see a level 1 chonk unless you've got like the Zyrakan or anything like that going on. Yeah,
not too often, but did have to burn the potion. A lot of ADs going into Inspiration Tree secondary for the biscuits, for the free ass boots, and that is going to be the case here. So with that little bit of heals that Yuumi offers very early in the lane and the potions being chugged, Retribution able to heal that one up back to kind of normalcy.
So all Hot Chili can really hope to do in this lane is just kind of trade for the most part, executing Galio once he gets higher. I mean, it's very, very difficult to do for him. They can just play it safe, farm up, and that's going to be the name of the game. Maybe get some roams later on.
You kind of have more sustain, but in the early levels, really, like I feel like Galio is going to do much more damage in an all-in. If you just walk in a straight line, it hits you with the E, hits you with the W, you have to tank a full rank Q that feels mega bad. So early, Lived kind of has a little bit of priority, able to shove that one in, but as I feel like the Hex deck is going to come out and a couple of items for Hot Chili certainly will have a lot more pressure in the 1v1.
I really want to see how Why Not goes on this Gragas jungle. Because it's been so long since I've seen one. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm hoping he pulls it off.
Yeah, it's kind of, like you look at it at the end of the day, you're like, oh, it's like a Gragas. It's not like the weirdest thing you've seen. It's like, I wonder how this is going to go. It's like, I've seen this countless times before, but just not in a little while, right? So, has options. Last time we saw him, it was a lot of the Zhonya's AP Gragas. Certainly, with the Predator, has some access to early ganks with the E-Flash. Gone for the early base already, so picks up his boots. That's a very nice trade.
Very, very nice trade. Actually forcing the flash up from Guapi, and Berserker's trying to threaten for the kill. He doesn't have the Ignite. And he has to turn away, just waiting for the cooldown.
Disaster. Just out of range to be able to get another auto attack there. Conqueror procced, but it's going to be the flash for flash trade, and no kills go either way. Very close, but very nicely played from Berserk. It does force the Aatrox out, which is not something most champions can do.
Well, he timed it so well. He waited for the exact time that Aatrox didn't have anything left in the steam. Swing and a miss by Artek, unfortunately.
Yeah, very nice dodge there from Retribution. Dodges down towards the wall, kind of the unexpected trajectory there, and he's able to get himself out of that one, but it's not like a Sivir Yuumi, right? It's these lanes are kind of flipped on their heads, so Kai'Sa Yuumi, pre-level 6, really has no way to stop Nautilus just fishing. He could just go out there, throw a hook. If it lands, his jungler's already down there. The Sivir can follow up with a Q, really non-committally at any sort of range, and there's no real way to fight back against that one. So as soon as priority is in the hands of Emprox, you can see MLG and Retribution just do respect it and catch the wave underneath their turret.
That's the best way to be. Apart from that, it's just going to be business as usual. In the top lane, Berserker, he's going to make up some of the farm that he did lose. But he's not too far behind. The fact that he's being able to stand toe-to-toe with Guapi and almost take it out, like, that was pretty darn good.
Well, he's probably going to catch a fairly decent chunk of this wave underneath this turret, so we'll account for some of that CS deficit, but he walked back to lane, whereas Guapi TP. So now, bottom side of the map, if they make a Galio play, there can always be an extra Renekton. The numbers advantage is sort of guaranteed for about 4 minutes here, so given that the Nautilus, the Sejuani, can make things happen fairly guaranteed.
Again, fishing, dishing out some damage onto Retribution, actually forcing MLG to come out from the tether, and now they're returning the trade. One more proc.
Yeah.
Retribution actually flashing for it. He gets the ignite. That was well calculated. But Sivir is trying to get at the heal, keeps him alive a little bit longer. Artek doesn't even fall. MLG forced to burn the heal.
And a disaster of a 2v2 from Gravitas Academy. Cleanses burnt over nothing. Retribution, maybe not just used to that one just yet. Thought he had the heal available, but it was in the hands of MLG. He falls down, and yeah, as you mentioned, Artek barely didn't die to the last tick of Ignite, so a huge commit there from Retribution does not pay dividends, and they fall down.
Oh, it was calculated on his behalf too. He knew that last proc, a good chunk. Paladin looking threatening Guapi. Why not is there on standby?
Yep, lived floating up with the pressure from the ulti as well, so could actually get to the play if he needed to. So, respect is going to be paid. Why not goes back, finishes the blue smite, and interested to see what sort of jungle item he goes towards. Would be... I mean, does Aatrox count as a front line? Probably does more often than not. Has the revive.
He's bruiser, definitely.
You could probably afford to go the AP build here if you are Why Not on the Gragas. And I probably expect him to go that route.
It's weird that Aatrox, after so long, that one change has brought him right back into the swing of things. But I really like the way that they changed his ultimate now. To make it feels more rewarding. Yeah, it feels way more rewarding.
Yeah, I feel functionally, or ideally, yes, it kind of works out that way. But functionally, it's not that hard to get an assist.
You would prefer maybe a takedown?
Well, I mean, I think it is a takedown, right? A takedown is a killer assist. Hold that thought. E-Flash may just come out here.
Why Not does not have the ultimate, unfortunately, and he actually gets swung. The turnaround from Artek. He does get bounced on in, but Artek has nothing left to give. And Bowman's trying to shell some damage, but he's going to fall. Yeah, flash burnt earlier costs the Nautilus. Artek falls down. No flash having to be used off the engage there from Why Not. Just closes the distance with the Predator, but able to take them down. And he's 6 now as well.
Kill goes down to the Gravitas bottom lane, and that's going to be a Fiendish Codex pickup, so definitely eyes on the AP Gragas. So scary. That Nautilus is almost like that Blitzcrank. Anytime you're diving anywhere near that turret, it can just turn so easily. Yeah, it looks super sketch. I see Why Not go in, and I'm like, man, he just died. 100%, but he hit that level 6 mark, had access to the ulti to disengage a little bit further. Artek wasn't level 6 of his own, so unable to kind of lock him down long enough for Mboma to pick that one up. But Nautilus, much like Blitzcrank, Thresh to a much lesser extent, but all these hook champs, like, as soon as you have to be the negative one, as soon as you're walking away, so easy to kill. Early in the game, you don't have stats, you don't have a lot of damage to be able to dissuade anyone, so as soon as you become the target, you drop very quickly, and that was exactly the case there for Artek. Play. Bit of a jungle invade now, going together with the bot lane of Emprox actually going to take this blue. They know that they've been spotted out. Gravitas do have the vision on them. That's not going to matter. They can't rotate in time. Yep. Gragas in the top side, so no ability to contest that one. Probably just going to take the blue buff of his opponents. He's actually spotted out by a nice bit of vision there from Emprox, so they will know where he's on the map, and as such, Sejuani's just going to solo out the dragon here. It's going to be good. Going to give them a little bit more of that gold lead. No one's going to know that he's taking away sneakily, because Why Not
if the pathing was to go straight for the blue. Pretty good, actually. Just a couple of steps ahead.
Yeah, uses the bottom lane, uses the priority to walk through. Potential dive setup is happening on the top side, but given that Gragas just walked away to the crab, probably not going to be the case. Hard to execute with Lived on the Galio. He can TP. He could just ulti if he's close enough in the vicinity, but GRVA is looking like he's ever so slowly chunking out Berserker here. Why Not has a return, but once again is on vision. So Berserker has had very good vision control defensively around top side of the map. His team just pushed in bottom lane, took a blue buff, did a dragon, all without help from the lanes, and that entire time has stayed relatively healthy underneath his turret and still able to farm away these waves. So Gravitas struggling to answer on the other side of the map.
So he just gets to chill. Recall coming out from Hot Chelly, a bit of a reset. That's going to just be business as usual in these lanes. That ward from Why Not coming out earlier when he did take the blue buff. So we'll know on the next set of buffs.
Yeah, and this could be an opportunity coming into fruition, but no. Once again, just going to walk away. But Galio has priority in the mid lane, right? He has TP and hasn't gone for a base yet, whereas Hot Chelly just went for his second, and this is exactly what I expected. Pink ward already in the bush is going to be spotted at. The Galio is walking plus the TP.
Sivir procs the ultimate, doesn't matter. Yumi falls with it. Galio's on the spot. Retribution is going to fall. That's a double kill. Artek uses a stopwatch, manages to stay alive. Gragas still trying to get for the kill. He stays alive. Hot Chelly forced to back away.
Yeah, and a perfectly executed dive there from Mpox. They get the entire bottom lane. TP was burnt from Berserker. Maybe a little bit of overkill, but pick up everything they wanted. Don't get any plates, but double kill is certainly nothing to scoff at. The stopwatch comes through from the Nautilus, saves his own life, and yeah, kill lead just extending in favor of Mprox.
GRVA just doing what he can in the top lane, gonna whittle down these plates. Saw the rotate coming out from Berserker. So interesting as well to see Artek, he's not a cat, yeah, because we got Yumi, but it feels like that man has 9 lives. Every time he gets out with just minimal health.
It's the ignite, then onto the Gragas, and then stop watching the turret shot. Oh, this is interesting. Bit of a lane swap coming out from Mprox. Maybe TP committed from Berserker, and he's like, yeah, I just lost so many chunks. Lost 20 CS lead on the top lane when he was fairly even. So didn't realistically want to reset, walk all the way top side when the TP is there from Mboma. So don't think it was a planned maneuver, but a little bit of adaptation here from Mprox, and maybe working out in their favor. Why Not is on the top side of the map, which means he cannot pressure Berserker off this wave too much. It is just going to be a 2v1, which isn't the scariest for a Renekton.
So he can just chill. Lane has been reset, but yeah, the 2v1 just means he's going to farm on up best he can.
I will say, as a Yumi, probably one of the worst champions to try and to play up against as a top laner in a 1v2. Like, there's no way she's missing her Qs onto you when you're sitting farming up a wave underneath the turret. She has move speed for the 80 carry to dodge in and out of turret aggro, but very early smite here, and the fight is happening. GRVA's in.
He wants to get in amongst it. GRVA is going to actually fall without the takedown. He's just going to reset. The ultimate comes out from Why Not to steal the Rift Herald. Unfortunately, rest of the members lived. Is trying to make sure that they get a kill at least for the troubles. Why Not trying to stay alive, but he does fall to live.
Yeah, Gravitas, they lose 2, but Why Not certainly hits the 3 over the top from downtown. They pick up the Rift Herald, so Hot Chelly able to grab that one. They will lose their mid turret for this one. 14 minutes, so 1 minute left on the plating, and Mprox are just going to whack away the mid turret. But this is very well played from Hot Chelly. Walks top, drops the Rift Herald immediately, and with Chelly, he may actually be able to contest for the turret plating.
The rest of the members now of Gravitas have came across. He will be able to. Completely. Oh, Artek gets the long hook, but doesn't even matter. Still gets the first brick.
Yeah, there you go. So Mprox.
And he also used his E to go over the wall to get the. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Good play.
Very well played there. They hard commit to the mid lane, and Hot Chelly has the answer somehow. That looked like the most disconnected Rift Herald contest ever. GRVA is like, yes, I'm going in. Give me the team fight. I'm like, where's my boys? Like, are we diving in over the top? But
why not? The barrel of justice.
He doesn't want anything to do with the 4 members on his screen and just lobs a barrel over the top. Very nicely timed. Interesting that Paladin burnt the smite very early. Maybe he didn't expect a contest to come through, and unfortunately, did kind of cost him the trinket slot.
Unfortunate, but on the side of Gravitas is making the best out of the situation.
Yeah, that was a gold lead swing. What should have been probably about 2k to 4k. That's like a 100% increase there from Mprox, but still just sitting at that 2,000 mark. So Gravitas, with the steal and with Hot Chelly breaking top turret, kind of dissuade any of the gold lead that went over with those 2 kills. Was also Sejuani picking up a couple of those so far, so not really the best member to have them on.
Next dragon will be up soon. Unfortunately, I didn't catch which one it was going to be.
Probably good,
Oh,
given that everybody's
Infernal.
down here.
There we go. Yeah, you can tell by the interest. So Emprox going to try and do the dance, try and reclaim some vision, get priority in the river.
Both top laners kind of whacking away at each other on the bottom side. Actually going to be a reset from GRVA, so potentially Black Cleaver completed and looking to TP back to the play here. That may be exactly what's going on. Doesn't have any deep flank wards, but is going to start wandering down.
They have the vision from Gravitas. They do not yet have the members. GRVA seeing if he can stall enough.
TP
No,
channel.
actually doing the teleport channel.
Hook
He
lands onto
swings,
Yuumi.
and it's going to be Yuumi taken out. Couldn't retether. GRVA is going to be in amongst it, and he's causing some havoc in the backline. But Hot Chelly, he wants to execute Paladin, but he's been knocked up enough. He falls in the trade, and it's going to be another member. GRVA taken out. Too many members of Emprox around him.
Yeah, and Emprox know exactly what they want. They land the hook, they get the fight. 4 members dead for Gravitas, and they pick up their second dragon of the game. Double kill to Liv, an extra one in the back pocket of the Sivir. Unfortunately, he falls down, but yeah, MLG just getting caught out at the start of that fight. Being unsplit from your allies, you can see just how easy you are as a target. Gets immediately picked on. There we go.
You need to respect that. Retribution still had his ultimate.
Yeah. I was sitting here being like, Berserker flash W'd MLG to take him down at that fight. Played that incredibly well as, he zoomed that one around, but just walked bottom lane, literally ints to the Kai'Sa. That's a roughie.
Gotta respect it. Kai'Sa, very, very scary. I always thought MLG was going to survive as well. There was enough time with him living. I was like, he can retether. Sure, it just takes that millisecond, but so squishy.
Yeah. They're just like a multiple layered CC, right? Like Nautilus goes in, it's like hook into auto attack, into flash W from Berserker. Galio, whilst that was happening, was channeling the charge, so knock-up was coming just a few moments later. It was really difficult to get anything done during that time, and Yuumi's W can, of course, be cancelled until she has arrived at the destination, so not sure if it was, but just died instantaneously nonetheless.
Sivir's really starting to come online as well. Working on the second item, already got the Essence Reaver. It's really strange as well from Gravitas. I thought that in terms of gold, that they'd be much further behind, but still, only about 2k. Sorry, or maybe even 1k.
Yeah, I feel like the Rift Herald did a lot to dissuade that one, but yeah, it's fairly interesting. They're hanging on very well so far. 17 minutes is the time on the clock, so a couple more and we will be in Baron territory, and Emprox certainly do seem to have control of the top side of the map so far. Why not pathing down here towards the side lane? You can see once again, this is one of those games where it was QUT last game, but now Gravitas with Akali and Aatrox in your solo lanes makes a lot of sense to just be splitting up the map, opting into a 1-3-1 setup, whereas a Galio comp kind of has one objective. That's all 10 members on the screen and to win a team fight.
Rest of the members of Gravitas just looking to see what they can do. No real objectives up as of yet, so they can just play it cool and try and regain the CS that they otherwise did lose. It's going to be slow, this part here.
Yep, nothing really to fight over. Item breakpoints are kind of being hit here. You can see Zhonya's is going to be the item of choice for the Gragas, but 2 items now completed despite not being transformed here for Retribution. Sivir is not long away. Interested that he hasn't completed the double items there, whereas Retribution has, but
4 stacking in the top lane. Reading this one well. GRVA, the only member, and they know it. They can take that turret for free.
Very difficult to defend that one in the hands of Gravitas. Double recall coming out of Yuumi and Gragas means that a very nice opportunity was presented to Emprox, and they seize it immediately. So another turret goes down to equalize 2-2. Goldly just extending a little bit, but they have left their mid lane wide open. Retribution just whacking away.
Fortunately, that turret was full health. It's going to be hard to take that one out. The teleport is coming across, trying to dissuade them. Retribution at the last moment goes, but the flash taunt from Liv straight onto Hot Chelly and Retribution, forcing them back. Yuumi ult comes across, but now Artek would be looking for it. It's going to be the ultimate, but Retribution manages to escape.
Yeah, the disengage is just there. Unfortunately for Liv on the Galio, Hot Chelly just gets in the way of the Justice Punch and unable to lock down the Kai'Sa as he opted into. Nautilus ulti is not enough with Yuumi just jumping into Narnia. So Gravitas do a very good job of disengaging, get a 80% chunk onto the turret after losing one of their own. Hot Chelly now in the side lane.
Yep, rejoining Lived in the side lane. I really like that play by Lived. He used the info that he had, went for it. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough follow-up damage. Retribution getting chomped by Mboma.
Yeah, he's genuinely like Hot Chili being one Teemo distance further to the right means that is an insta-kill onto Kai'Sa. She dies. That's probably a team fight one, and certainly like the opportunity looked at there by Lived. Unfortunately,
Did you use one Teemo?
yeah.
I love that.
That is genuinely the best unit of measurement in League of Legends.
I hate Teemo, but I have to agree with that.
I mean, that's the meme because like that isn't. I'm fairly sure the developers very early on, like that was a thing. That was genuinely a
They would
thing
measure
used
in
like
Teemos?
functionally to like describe to the viewer or like the player base like how far something is, like what distance is. Because if I say 800 units, I played
Yeah, what
pro
does
for
that mean?
400 like for 4 years. I now cast.
Yeah.
Who knows what 800
Yeah, but everyone
units
knows
is?
roughly what a
Like
Teemo is.
or you use maybe like flash distance as sort of like a modifier. It's like 2 flash distances away.
I really like that.
Yeah, you just need a vantage point.
Yeah. No, I do like that. Very, very clever. I wonder if they still use it.
Oh, probably not. I hope so. I don't know whether like in-house it was actually like a functional unit of measurement, but at least talking to people, like that's how things were described.
Retribution starting to come online, but so too is Mboma. Really, both of them now
Yeah.
very, very scary in terms of those 80 carries.
Sivir definitely, given the transform is not quite there for the Kai'Sa, in a better position for the most part. Does have a big beefy front line as well, and for Sivir comps that definitely
Hot
feels
Chili.
nice. But here's a fight.
Just going straight to the back
Oh!
line, straight onto Mboma, completely ignoring Artek. Mboma might fall, the E doesn't connect, but in the meantime, the Dragon has been taken by Improx. Flash across the wall onto Hot Chili, but meanwhile in the
taunt.
pit,
Oh!
a huge taunt is chunking them down. Unfortunately, with no damage, Artek is going to fall.
Yeah, and Liv's trying his best, but 1v3 unfortunately cannot make anything work. So the Dragon, yes, goes over to Mprox. Gravitas certainly do win the fight. Picking up 2 kills, Hot Chili basically soloing out the back line as the rest of the team just able to clean up.
Completely ignoring
Oh,
Liv.
here we go. Oh, very smart check from MLG. No vision. Uses the comet to check the bush. Very smart play.
Zerka is the only one there. The rest of the members are trying to go, but with that Kai'Sa, you know that she can shred incredibly fast. Members might just get there for that contest. Why not is very, very low. The heal
Yeah.
is coming across. Zerka
Paladin's
now.
here.
It's getting
Ooh.
low. Less than that, he makes his move, but Berserker's going to be the first to fall. Baron's still very, very healthy. 2 members now
TP?
falling. TP coming across. Guapi is trying to trade with Mboma. He gets taken out. Why not has to escape? Hot Chili
Oh.
in the shroud, needing to escape, but Hot
Mboma?
Chili goes
He's dead.
for the kill right there. He does get taken out in a free trade. Why not needing to escape? Baron is so low. He tries to go for the Holy Barrel. It's not going to
Smite
connect.
fight?
Artek
Oh.
is there. He can't get into the pit.
Yeah, why not
Mprox
didn't have
get
it?
the Baron.
Yeah, Smite's still available for Paladin as Gravitas. They won the team fight, went straight for the Baron buff, and unfortunately, way too low there. The heals were there. The Summon It heal, the plants, and Yuumi as well, just kind of casting them back and forth, but it was not enough to keep them alive. Why not use his Smite on a champion, I believe. So when it came down to the Battle of the Junglers, certainly at a strict disadvantage, and Paladin able to secure that one, so... Yeah, very unfortunate. Gold lead now back in the favor of Mprox. Double Infernal Dragon. Sivir picked up a bunch of kills and gets himself a stopwatch. Be very useful in dealing with the Akali, which is kind of the bane of his existence so far.
For Gravitas, it feels bad. Thought they had that one in the bag, but Berserker just buying enough time as well, just constantly pressuring. It's so stressful when you're in that situation with the Baron. You know that the enemy team wants to try and contest, but you're just hoping, praying for the best. But to then make that call, like even just, it's like a mental thing to just know that the enemy has eyes on you while you're doing that Baron.
Yeah, and they were just wandering out of base, right? Paladin walking over, as is the rest of the team, and just didn't have enough damage. Kind of didn't pass the damage check there, and lost themselves a huge buff. Now in a very precarious position. You can see on the minimap somewhat as well, Renekton actually contesting in the side lane, and yikes.
I mean, that's contesting with Guapi
Yes.
in the dirt.
That's a contest and a half.
I was
and,
going to say, let's see what Mprox can do with the Baron buff. And they're just opening up mid. The teleport coming across.
That's a nice
Artek,
ulti.
He's very, very low. Yuumi matching it as best he can, but he left Retribution exposed. The taunt coming across. MLG is no one to tether to. Hot Chili, he's trying to stall as long as he can. He's going to get taken out. That's a triple kill.
And the Akali cannot one-man army at the end of the day. Retribution cops an ulti to the face, dies immediately. MLG falls, and Gravitas, one by one, they fall down. Mprox, do they just look for the end?
I mean, Mprox just got a triple for free. And Gravitas, they're just trying their best to stall as best they can. But why not? I mean, it's going to be a tall order. The death time is there. Guapi is alive now. Why not accidentally stopwatches? They're trying to dive under the turret. Guapi falls for the next time. Why not falls? Surely this game is going over to Mprox. They're working their way onto the base. And it's going to be GG over to Mprox.
Yeah, and a very nice victory from the blue side. Mprox picking up another one, add it to the list, and taking down the full-strength Gravitas in that game.
Ooh. It just went from one bad decision to the other. I mean, you could see what MLG was trying to do, match with the Yuumi, try and get Arctic, but he left Retribution completely exposed.
Yeah, well, I think it was like a stray Sejuani ulti. You do have to credit Paladin, right? Like, that was a very nice start to the fight for Gravitas. Yuumi ulti over multiple people. Arctic just dies for free at the start of it. He casts his ulti feudally to try and do something before he dies, but yeah, as you mentioned, she kind of splits off. Retribution, cops an ulti to the face. Teamfight just dies already. The Aatrox are dying in the side lane, and that was
disastrous. That was like spelling disaster.
Yeah, that was Gravitas. They win the team like 5 minutes ago. They win a team fight at Dragon, go to Baron, and Mprox end the game with that Baron like 2 minutes after.
It's rough, but it just shows that the tempo can swing so quickly if you give them the chance.
Yep, as soon as they had that tempo, they picked up the victory. So Mprox, as I said, adding another one to the list, they pick up the victory over Gravitas. Don't go anywhere, guys. 3 minutes, and we'll be back with game number 3.